All right, so if you're thinking about installing a Stealth Hitch on your B9 S4, I did this about 3 years ago. I took a few video clips while I was doing the install just to, I don't know, record some kind of tips and info for anybody looking to do it. So we'll get to that. But yeah, so so 3 years ago. I've been using it ever since then, pretty much every weekend with a one-up rack. And I've carried 1, 2, 3 bikes, e-bikes, also no problem. It works great. As you can see, when it's not, when you're not actively using it, like it's not visible at all. The only noticeable thing from the outside is where the underside of the bumper fascia had to be cut. But again, you kind of have to get under the car to see that. But anyway, so let's jump into the video clips from the install and then do a little conclusion at the end. All right, so these are the clips on the underside of the threshold. It goes in just like this, so you basically just have to pry it up, and you can kind of start on the edge and work your way towards the middle. All right, so you have to pull these down, and then there's a nut in here. Let's see if I can see it. Where is it? Yeah, on that little stud right there. It's kind of long, as you can see, so you need a deep socket. So there's one in there, one on this side as well, and then one in this hole and one in this hole. And so you got to be careful in here because it's big and open, and it'd be real easy to drop the nut down. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'd rather not find out the hard way. So yeah, just get yourself a deep socket and some sort of extension. 10 millimeter. All right, so you need like a plastic trim tool like this to get these out. Stick it in there and pry it up like so, and it comes right out like that. All right, once you remove the T25s from right here, the tail light will come right out. You can just disconnect it, just press the little tab there on the connector, and it comes right out. And then over here, there's these little lock pins. You just stick something under it and kind of pry it up, and then it just comes right out. And that's what kind of holds the corners in place. So the directions just say there's some clips that just pop out on this side to pull the fender out, but I think the directions are actually for like a A4 or an all road or something like that. So the S4 actually has some Torx screws right here, so I'm just going to take those out. All right, so there's actually 4 of these screws on each side. One here, one here. And there's one kind of inset a little more that's hard to see. And then once you take that out and you pull the liner back, there's another one that goes straight up, like right here, obviously on the other side. So it's kind of hard to see and a little awkward to get to, but not hard. So yeah, 4 screws on each side, not any actual clips. All right, I got the crash bar out. It was the 3 bolts on each side, 3 and 3, and then on this side there's a stud that goes through, and there's a nut on the inside of the truck that you have to take out. But now when I put it back, I have to put the hitch bar in between the chassis and the crash bar, so I have to use this longer hardware with lock washers and regular washers. All right, so it looks like these black brackets on each side are actually going to stop the hitch bar, stop the mounting plate from sitting flush, because it kind of just barely sits right on the edge here. These are just little brackets that the underside of the fascia attaches to, but there's also, it also attaches right here too, so I think I'm okay if I take these off. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, crash bar's back in. It's pretty easy. You can put the hitch bar up there, and it will just hang on these little studs that stick out. Then you can take the crash bar, put it up against it, push it up against the chassis, and then this little stud that goes through, just put a nut on the other side of it, and then it stays in place, and you can put all 6 bolts in place pretty easily. All right, I got the receiver block in place. It's just these 2 big nuts and nylock washers, and that's all you have to do to put the receiver in place. just snaps right in. And then to take it back out, you just twist this up, which you can't do it one-handed because it'll just fall out. But yeah, just twist this up and it comes right out, and then it's hidden and you don't have to see it. So it's awesome. All right, I got it all back together. The bumper fascia went on easier than I thought it would. When you're doing the sides, if you just kind of push it back this way, it'll kind of snap into place. You can put those little pins back in right here, and then these little slots kind of snap right in along this space, and you just kind of mash that in, put those 4 screws in, and do that on each side, and you're set. Put the tail lights back in place. It was just the 2 screws right here. Make sure you reattach the harness. And then there were, you can't see anything because it's dark out here, but the nut on the inside behind the tail light, and the one over on this side, and then the 2 on the inside, just on the inside of the bumper here. Put those back. Put this trim piece back on. It just snaps back in place. Make sure you pull the weather stripping up over top of it, and throw the trunk liner in, and it's all back together. So now all I have to do is get under here and trim the fascia so that I can access that receiver. So let's do it. All right, so I've got a little hacksaw, like handsaw thing, and a reciprocating saw. So I think I could get under here and I can kind of see where the block is at, and so I'll just need to kind of cut on each side of it and then go a little wide on this side so that I can get to the little handle knob thing, and just be careful not to damage anything else. So here we go. All right, so yeah, that was pretty much the full install. I obviously didn't show the actual cutting of the fascia, so I'll show you what I did now. It's kind of it's not the cleanest hole for sure, because I was using the Sawzall and whatnot, but again, it's not really visible unless you're under the car, so I don't really care too much. But here it is, you can see. And I mentioned in the video, in the other clip, about leaving space on this side to get to the release lever, so you need that. But then also on this side, there's a button where the key goes in to lock it, so you need to have enough access to that as well. So you need like 2 to 3 inches on each side of the actual like block here. So yeah, but there you go, that's it. Hopefully this was helpful.